And I want to make sure that you are primed and ready to go, because I want to share with you the real stuff, right? When I started this, I wanted to create a group where we were having really good conversations on people that were experts in their field so that we could learn on how to improve our life. Really essentially going from being an ordinary person to extraordinary. So I think what's incredibly important is just to emphasize you've got to do like the baseline things if you're looking to be extraordinary. If you're not even showing up, if you're not doing the bare minimum and you think like greatness is just going to happen because your mom told you that when you were a child and said you could do whatever you want. Well, the reality is that you've got to like become a specific kind of person to be able to do whatever you want. And that's what I want to go over with today. What is it that you have to do? Who is it that you have to become to live at an extraordinary life? And whatever that extraordinary is, it doesn't mean you need to be like driving in Lambos and Ferraris, but it means that you are content and satisfied with what you are becoming every single day. I've been undergoing massive training in my life to get where I am. And I've been able to carve out a space for me that no one else has been able to get into, and to live in an extraordinary life, especially being in an industry that there's not many females that really conquer and get to the top. I really want to share with you the type of mindset that it takes to get to play in this arena and to stay in this arena. It's not a mindset that most people are really training you to be in right now. And really what is going on right now, people are playing a lot of head games, right? And once someone gets into your head, you're dead. I really want you to get this. Once someone else gets into your head, you're dead, you're finished. And so when I say things like you need to stop caring about what other people are saying, it's not because you need to be a difficult person. It's not because you need to be stubborn and not be open-minded to change and learning and developing. It's not that you don't need to be coachable. It's that you have to have the utmost level of focus, determination, and drive, where you cannot be taking your brain energy and giving any weight to the opinions and the nonsense that people are trying to put in your head today. And that's what it is. It's a whole lot of nonsense. So I want to dive into this today because the whole thing is that nice guys finish last. They absolutely do. That's the truth. That is the reality. I didn't make the rules. I am just here to tell you that that is how it goes. And whenever you meet ultra successful people, I'll tell you what ultra successful people have in common. We are violent in our obsession to be great. Okay, we are not skating around and like, I hope everyone likes me and I hope I don't offend anyone. If that is inside of you, then you've got to remove that. You've got to cut that out and make a decision that you are going to go after it with all that you have, no matter what someone else is saying. And if you have people in your life that value you and want to see you become the best version of yourself, then they will get out of your way. They will support you. They will be alongside you and saying, go after it all. Go after it all. Okay, so I just want to share this message with you today because in the standalone group, I have some amazing conversations and I break down things. I want to go deeper. And so I encourage you to join this group. But today, I just want to get very real with you. I want to talk to you. And I want you to know that you've got to bring like the baseline foundation if you want to move from ordinary to extraordinary. You can't be coming behind the gate. You can't be coming behind. You have so much to catch up on. I'll tell you this, in my business, we interview a lot of people, and it takes us interviewing a lot of people to find the good people, not the nice people, the good people that care and want to be great. Okay. But if you're coming into a business opportunity and you're there saying, like, I wonder what this company can give to me, I wonder what value they can give to me, what you have to understand is that you've got to show up and you've got to be giving your all so that that company can reciprocate back to you. But if you don't even have the basics, if you don't even have the fundamentals, like you have bad work ethics, right? You're trying to find yourself. I mean, that's not the company's job. The company's job is not to help you find yourself. The company's job is to produce results, and they can produce results with good people, not nice people, not people like afraid to go after it all. Okay. So let's break this down. I teach this all the time, and I want to give it to you in different ways so you really get it, right? You take someone who's a professional at what they do, right? Look at their hands. And what will you see about their hands? They're not soft, right? Take a chef, right? I'm not talking about someone who cooked for the first time. That person's hands, they haven't been beat up, right? They're soft, they're sensitive. They're sensitive hands, right? They touch the hot pan and they're reactive, right? You now line up with someone else who's a chef, who has put in the time, who has undergone training. What you'll find is they grab a hot pan and they don't even know that it's hot anymore because their hand has been hardened, right? They have what I call a chef's hands. And when you go into business, you've got to develop that over time, but time isn't enough, right? What you also have to do is get yourself in the heat, do challenging things that force your hands to become hardened so you can take on more heat. Because as you continue in business, the business environment is always changing, right? You've got to stay on top of your game and make sure that you're capable of bringing the heat, capable of outperforming everyone else so that you can endure, so that you can last in business. Do you know what the success rate of business is? The success rate of business is less than 4%. So if you're in a business that's doing well, maybe just lasting, that's doing well. But I'm just here to tell you that you've got to develop those chef's hands. And so look at it this way now. So you've got to like toughen up. You know, when I came into business, I'm not actually supposed to do well. If you took the person that I grew up in a small town in Canada, right? Ultra polite. My parents, good people, nice people, right? And, you know, if you did anything off, it was like the worst thing. And so why I'm sharing this with you is because I was very protected. I almost lived in a bubble. And then when an event happened to me that burst that bubble, I'm here to tell you, I had to reinvent the person that I am so that I could thrive. I had to go from survival mode to now I'm coming at you. I'm coming for you, right? And this was not something that just happened to me. It's something that I go to work at every single day. And I cultivate this to make sure that things don't affect me. I affect things. I affect things. And there's a difference in my mentality, right? So I had to build those chef hands. I had to build a mindset that was like no one else to get to that place of extraordinary. And so for some of us, this is going to take more time, but it's not going to happen if you are surrounded by a lot of nice things. Okay. And that's the world that we live in today. It is just too comfortable. It is too comfortable with all of us having everything, easy access. We don't even really have to work for what we want. We almost demand it and expect it, right? Because we see it everywhere. And I'm just here to tell you that you've got to get in your mindset that you have to be aggressive after the things that you want. You have to be serious about it. And sometimes that takes you being not nice. You standing up for yourself. When people say like, listen, you got to slow down. You're obsessed. You got to say to them like, That's you talking for you. That is not for me. Okay. I am here to do bigger and better. So you've got to get very, very clear on what it is that you're looking to achieve. So, first thing, develop a sense of toughness, develop those chef hands. The second thing you got to look at to assess if you're developing those tough hands is look at a coach, look at a parent. Would you ever want a nice coach? What does a nice coach produce? What does a nice coach produce? A bunch of softies. That's what it produces. It produces a bunch of people where everyone feels like, I want an award. No, I want an award. No, that's not what this is about. Okay. It takes a good coach to show up and to drive performance. That's what a good coach does, right? Think about a parent. How many of us want to be a nice parent? Of course, I want to be nice to my kids, but at the end of the day, I want my kids to have the confidence to be able to hold their own. And that's not going to happen by me being nice all the time and offering an environment that is comforting, right? How many of us grew up with this saying, sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me? How many of us grew up knowing this? I bet you if you ask kids today, they would tell you, no, words matter. Choose your words carefully. Your words. Because people are literally getting broken by words today. It's insane. You call someone the wrong pronoun and they're like, oh my gosh, this is the end of the world. I don't even know what's going on, right? It isn't about words. Like, words of other people cannot affect you. And the person who is being nice and saying all the nice words to you, they can't affect you to be better. I want you to get this. Like the nice parent versus the good parent. So I'm not talking about being nasty. I'm talking about being good. Be good at what you do. A good parent can go after their child if they're misbehaving and correct behaviors so that they don't get a 20-year-old, a 24-year-old that's wild. And now you can't pull the reins on that one. And society has to now pay the cost for your bad parenting because you were trying to be nice. Right? Same thing with teachers. One of the things that I really actually loved about the virtual environment when it started is that I got a window into my child's classroom and into the teacher. And he started off with a teacher, and that teacher was nice. You know what? She had no control over my son. She had no control over the classroom. And I'd look at my son and I would say, this is a hot mess. And all she was concerned about was how she was coming off, that she was perceived as a nice teacher. Then another teacher came in and she was about being a teacher and getting results. She was a good teacher. You know what she did? She laid down the law of the classroom. She told every student, she told my son, this is what you will do. This is what you will not do. This is what I will allow. This is what I will not tolerate. If they were caught off, not paying attention, she'd bring them back. She wouldn't say like, oh, I want you to be whoever you want to be. And I want to be nice. And I want you to remember me as that nice teacher. When you go back and you get into the future, you'll look back on your past and you'll appreciate the people that had the courage to be good. I really want you to get this message today, because when you listen to people at the top of their game, they're saying a lot of great things, but behind the scenes, don't you ever get it twisted. They are not nice. They are good at what they do. And that's what drives those results and allows them later on to talk about all these niceties. Okay, so you've got to stay very, very focused. So I want you to go back and do a mental checklist for yourself. If you're on this path where you're doing all the prerequisites to be good, right? You're showing up. You've got work ethic like no one else. You're there to play, right? Not get played. You're there to play. You are a person that is creating, right? I want you to now look and say, am I sensitive? Do I have an amateur's hand where everything I touch is like, I'm just reacting all the time. I'm reacting literally. You react to words. You react to words. If I told you some of the words people called me, let me tell you something. I wouldn't be here if that actually affected me. I wouldn't be here. They call me those words because that's them. They don't get me because what's inside of me isn't inside of them. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. Are you okay with that? So that when you touch that hot pan, you're not jumping, right? Words aren't hurting you. Next thing you got to look at is, as a coach, as a parent, as a teacher, if you're in leadership, do you care to bring the goods to win? Or do you care that everyone likes you? Leadership, coaching, parenting, it's not a popularity contest. It's about you bringing the goods to deliver so that you can deliver and make sure that you are producing a product that you can be proud of because you put your all into it. Okay. So forget about being liked. Forget about being nice. Forget about winning a popularity contest. I want you to start aiming higher. I want you to aim higher. I'm going to give you a set of, items that this is how people are living today. And this is what you have to aim at, aim higher, raise your standards so that you can achieve more, right? So the first thing is approval. When most people are doing something, they're spending so much energy looking to the left and to the right to make sure that they have approval of people that don't matter in the grand scheme. I'm not talking about your coach. I'm not talking about a leader who's now like pushing you to get to a higher level, right? You have to be able to take in their coaching. You have to open up your mind to that. I'm talking about the people that don't bear anything in terms of your results. And while these may be nice people in your life, it could be parents, it could be siblings, it could be aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, I don't know, whatever it is, old friends, acquaintances. It's not about you meeting their approval. If you're trying to meet all of those people's approval, you are destined to never get off the ground. Okay? Instead, look and seek to make an impact, right? Instead of approval, look and seek to make an impact. And the difference is approval is very short term. You can do things to get people's approval in the short term, but it takes someone who's seeing a longer game to make an impact. It takes someone with dedication, with tolerance for pain to be able to make an impact, right? And people that are always looking for people's approval, you know why you do that? Because you don't like the pain of discomfort. And I'm here to tell you, the chef's hands. Grab the pot, feel the heat, and don't drop the pot. And the next time you grab the hot pot, it won't affect you as much. The next time you grab it again, it won't affect you as much. The next time you grab it again, it won't affect you that much. Okay? You've got to get over yourself. The next thing that you want to look at is stop getting so wound up in the opinion of other people, right? Instead, be a principled person. Opinions, principles, right? When you spend some time with yourself, when you start to chart what does the best version of me look like, and I'm going to live by these principles. This is something I'm going to be proud of, right? When I do my interview, right? The interview with God, he's not going to assess how much money I have in my bank account. He's going to assess the kind of person that I am. And he's not going to say, well, you were just nice to everyone. You were nice. He wants to know, whose lives did I affect outside of my own? I believe this. This is a principle of mine. It's not just about my life. It's about whose lives did I touch? Did I influence for the better outside of my own? And I have to be good to do that. I have to be good to do that. So I can't get swayed by other people's opinions when my principle is what ultimately drives me. I hope that makes a lot of sense to you, because this is important. And this is where I say you've got to go through the dark to find the light, right? A lot of people are just listening to other people, consuming information. You have no idea who you are. You have no idea who you are. And you run the risk of falling into the hands of someone who doesn't care about you. And what they want is something else. Their agenda is not to better you. Okay. And so until you know who you are, you can listen to different people and you could say, like, doesn't align with my principles. Okay. You keep going, not for me. But if you don't know who you are like pollen. I call these people like pollen and dust. You just blow with the wind. Wherever this one says something, oh yeah, I agree. This one says something, yeah, I agree. You know what it takes? It takes courage to say, like, that's a fucking bunch of bullshit what you're saying right there. Okay? You don't have to agree with me. I hope you know who you are. I hope you know what your principles are. And I hope you go after it with all that you have. That will make you a happy person. Okay? And happy in a good sense, not fluffy, fake happiness. Okay? Because people that live their life on principles, not on opinions, I'll tell you what they are. They're like the oak tree, right? They're the oak tree when the hurricanes of life come, when the storms of life come, everything else is devastated, destroyed, and that oak tree is still standing, right? You can't stand the test of time because what's inside is rotten, right? What's inside is rotten, and you've got to work on these things. So instead of just looking at the opinions of everyone else, trying to make everyone else happy, and I want to be a nice person and I don't want to offend anyone. Well, the biggest offense that you're making is on your own life and your goals. Okay. And if you're okay doing that, that's okay. But don't become a hater for someone else who's going after it and doesn't give a rat's ass if you're offended or not. Okay. Next one, you got to look at this and say, people that right now we're looking for immediate gains. Could you be the rare few that are playing for the long-term gain? I'm here to tell you this pays way more than this pays. But how are we being trained by society today? Everyone wants an immediate gain, immediate. But I'm here to tell you that pays very little. People playing for the long-term gain. I'm telling you right now, that's a different payout, but it's going to test you. Can you last? Can you endure? That's what you've got to build up for yourself. Next thing you got to look at is, do you care about looking good more than you care about being good? Okay. We live in a very visual world. So you've got to have the goods on the outside, but the inside needs to match up. There is nothing more sad and sorry when you see someone with a beautiful face and then you talk to them and there's nothing but air coming out. That's what an airhead is, right? They're just speaking absolute nonsense, right? You feel like you're talking to a bird. You feel like, what is going on, right? And then you want to say to that person, just don't talk, don't say anything, just sit there and look pretty. Just sit there and look pretty. How insulting is that? Can you imagine if someone is telling you to sit there and look pretty? That's not what you're here for. You're here so that when someone sees you, they think, wow, I want to learn from this person. And then you drop the bombs on them and let them know, like, you're not fooling around. Not only do you have it on the outside, you've got the goods on the inside. And that's the reverse too, right? You can't have all the goods on the inside, but the outside's looking like a hot friggin' mess, right? Someone's looking at you and they're like, I don't even care what you have to say. I don't want to look like you. I don't want to smell like you. I don't want to walk like you. I don't want to talk like you. I don't want to be anything like you, right? When these two things line up, I mean, that's where the magic happens. That's how you become dangerous, okay? So in my whole life, I had to learn these things. So what's great is that anyone can learn them if you are willing to pay the price. And I just encourage everyone to know it doesn't matter where you start. The point is that you start and that you don't stop. The point is that you start and you don't stop. It doesn't matter how uncomfortable it gets, it doesn't matter how long it takes. You're a person of dedication and commitment, and you see things through to the end, right? I did a poll with my team the other day and I asked them, how long have you worked with your prior company? This is a mark of greatness. When you have people that have been dedicated to a company for a substantial period of time, it means that they're committed to an organization. You look at some people today and they are not vibing with the company, they just up and go on to the next one, right? You're ever driving behind someone and they're an Uber driver, they're a Lyft driver, they do Grubhub, they do, the other food company. And it's like, how could you ever become great? You know what that person is? That person is scattered. That person is scattered. I had someone deliver food to our office the other day. They contacted me while they were waiting and said, I'm waiting for your food to be ready. I would like to know if you want me to get anything special for you, right? Do you want any special sauces, condiments that I can get for you? Then when they delivered the food, they took a picture and they put their time and energy into saying, thank you. If you appreciate my service, please give me a great review. This person cared. They went the extra mile. They went the extra mile in their lane. They weren't looking to the left, to the right, saying like, oh, you do this, maybe I should do this too. Oh, you do that, maybe I should do this too. And you become the jack of all trades and the master of none. And that's not what we are here on planet Earth to do. We are here to become extraordinary. In our becoming extraordinary, that's what allows us and affords us the ability to teach and to lead others to that land, right? If you're in the beginning phases, you don't need to be teaching anyone. You need to be getting good at what you do, okay? And so as you do this, you become better and better and better. But the whole point today, guys, is I want to just set this straight. This whole nice thing, I'm telling you right now, we're just being so distracted by really what's going on. And I said this before. You're either a player or you're getting played. You should write that down. You're either a player or you're getting played. And what does it mean to be a player? It means that you are aggressively and violently doing everything you can to get to the top, right? Meaning that you can shut down conversations. You don't need to say like, excuse me, I find your language offensive. No, just get tunnel vision focused on what it is that you're looking to achieve. And then you will find yourself becoming better and better and better, right? But if you are not aggressive in what your goals are, you will just be easily distracted, pulled off track. And then you start thinking about things that have no bearing on your success. Right? What are these things today? You can make a long list of nonsense things that are out there right now to get you off track of building and honing on your craft. And I just say this to everyone because once someone distracts you, right? Everyone has heard this saying, united we stand, divided we fail, right? If someone wants to conquer you, they first have to divide you. So think about this relative to your attention, right? How does someone conquer you? How does someone own you? All I have to do is divide and scatter your attention. Now you'll never become anything great because you're not tunnel vision focused on achieving a specific aim, right? And so you have to make sure that this is another principle of yours, that you're playing for the long game, that you have this singular purpose that you're looking to achieve. It doesn't have to be someone else's purpose. If it's a team mission, team goal, I promise you'll go farther than you can on your own. That's the benefit of a team. That's the benefit of a team with the people aligned as one. You just need to get out of their way. They're coming after you, right? Take a team divided. I mean, that's a disaster, right? But now take an individual. divided. That is not conducive to success. Okay. This is something I'm so passionate about because for me, I had to reinvent who I am. And the more I look at it, it's reminding myself of what I've always wanted for myself. But how I was raised is not conducive to what it takes to be successful. And that's just the honest truth. Okay. That is the honest truth. So it's not about being a nice professional, right? It's about being a good professional. It's not about being a nice teacher. It's about being a good teacher. It's not about being a nice parent. It's about being a good parent. And when you do this, you become good for the world, for your company that you work with, and everything starts to flow up. So today, I just wanted to give you this reminder. You know, I'm doing all these great conversations with people, and I really wanted for you to just get a little taste of get yourself to that baseline, right? Get yourself and your mind right. So when you listen to something, you listen to good things and you can shut out the noise and the nonsense that's out there, right? Look at someone and say, like, are you inspiring? If that person's inspiring to you, continue to listen. Continue to allow yourself to be inspired by other people's greatness. There's nothing wrong with that. The world would have you believe. You know, I was in the airport the other day and you know how you have to take off your clothes, your shoes, all that nonsense, right? Someone took off their jacket and it said, eat the rich. And I was like, what in the world is that about? And I was like, well, dude, man, get away from me. I was like hiding my watch. I was like, I don't know what's about to happen here. Is he going to eat me or something? How is this person setting up themselves to be successful? If that's what's in your head, you have to eat the rich. You know, when I came into business, I was inspired by the rich. I was inspired by people that have made something of themselves, you know, that started with nothing and built something so incredible that inspired me. I would never want to eat the rich. I would want to learn from the rich. So I encourage you to be inspired by greatness. You know why most people aren't inspired by greatness? Because someone planted a seed inside of you that told you that that is for them and not for you. And that's fucking bullshit is what that is. That's not the truth. What is for someone else could also be for you if you do all the things that they do over a long period of time. It's not going to happen overnight. But if you are steadfast like an oak tree, you can withstand the storms and you can get there too. But this is not, and success is not an Amazon delivery. Okay. You can't pay more to get it there faster. Okay. There are things that you have to go through. And when you have those principles inside of you, you don't have to worry about the opinions and what other people are saying. Okay. You can shut that out and it has no effect on you. Okay. That person who's saying those things, however outlandish they are about eat the rich, that is sad. That is sad for that person, but that is not for me. I'm not buying into that. I am not believing in that because I believe that you can do whatever someone else is doing. You can do it over a long period of time, and that's how you acquire skill. And that's what will bring greatness into your life. If you don't believe you can control your destiny, what is the point? And there's nothing more dangerous than a hopeless person. I'm going to say that again. There is nothing more dangerous than a hopeless person. Okay? So you've got to have tremendous hope in your life, but you've got to go to town. You've got to go to work on doing all the things that can get you to where you want to be. And don't have a pity party for yourself. It's just like the chef. You're training to be a chef. When you burn yourself, it's not the end of the world. In fact, your body has built-in mechanisms to repair itself better than when you started. So give yourself a fighting chance. Keep cooking, keep going, keep moving, right? You want to get paid like a professional? Stop thinking and behaving like an amateur. Stop overreacting and make sure that you open yourself up to a coach, to someone else that will be good, not nice. because nice doesn't cut it. And nice will get you in last place. And the people that are pretending to be nice, I'm here to tell you this. All business people are savages at heart. Okay? So they can wear a pretty smile and tell funny jokes. They're coming for your lunch. And while you're distracted and you're doing a whole lot of nonsense, and you're like, well, this person's so nice though. Let me tell you, behind the scenes, they know how to drive performance. Okay? So I encourage you to get inspired. Get inspired by this. You know, it's inspiring for me to know that a little girl can come from Canada to the United States of America with nothing. You know, I had my husband, I had a bag of clothes and a car. And from that, I built everything. You know, we built everything that we have. I have sat with presidents of the United States of America. That is called going from ordinary to extraordinary. And if you told me back then that that would be the case, I don't know if I would have believed it then, you know, but what I did know is that I was inspired by all the great people around me. I never looked at them with jealous eyes. I looked at them and said, wow, 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 this is amazing. And that's what you want to go after. You want to go after living an inspired life. And when you are blessed, then you can bless many, many, many more. And that's the greatest calling of life. Okay. So I hope I pass that interview when I meet my creator and he asks me, he's not going to ask me how much money I had in my bank account. He's not going to ask me how many cars that I have. He's not going to ask me, you know, any of those quantity data driven questions. But he will say, you know, how many lives did you impact in your short time on earth? That is the mark of greatness. Okay. So make an impact. Impact hurts. Impact hurts, right? But it's worth it. It's worth it, guys. Okay. So as you join the group, I have some really amazing interviews that are lined up and scheduled. And I am so honored to be able to bring these people to you so we can have these great conversations. And remember this, it is about conditioning your mind. You know, it is about conditioning and putting things and people in your forefront that can make a positive impact in your life. And they're not always going to say the nicest things to you, but they're going to say the necessary things to you to change the direction of your life. Because if you keep doing what you've always done, you're not going to change. It's not going to get better. Something inside of you has to be disrupted so that you can become better and grow. Okay. So thank you for your time today. I really ask that you join the standalone group. I did this one live outside of the group because there's so much great content that we're sharing. And it is different from all the information that's out there because we talk about things at a deeper level, right? Not surface, not just, you know, a little quote here and there. Go deeper. Your life matters. Okay. And what matters is that you're good. Okay. So thank you for your time today. Have an awesome day. Go to town on becoming the best version of yourself and be principled in your pursuit of it. Okay. Thank you guys for your time. Have a great day. Bye.